the ganja tree that was 10 high stories of smoke. This conspiracy and number.
What's up, everybody? This is Global History Night.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
What's
It's
going
Anna
on?
and DJ Rowe. We are back for Global History Night.
Yes, we are. We are back.
That's right. That's right, man. So much is happening.
So much.
Seriously. Oh my God. Well, and we're on YouTube now, which is very exciting, and Facebook.
Yes.
Yep, we're getting a global reach.
Yes, we are.
So, poor Uncle Joe.
Yeah, man, he's getting it all over the place, man.
He is. He is. Oh my God.
But it looks like, you know who's on the come up? Come on, you can say his name.
Bird dog.
Bird dog.
Bird
dude.
dog. I know, man. Ooh, but okay, we got to talk about this Bloomberg guy.
Yes, yes. So what's up with that dude, man? That's a weird guy.
I
A
know.
billionaire? I don't know, man. What's the deal with? But I saw what he had said. They showed some kind of commercial.
Well, he was mayor of New York for 8 years.
Yeah, and he said
So-
something crazy.
What did he say
I
crazy?
forgot what he had said. I saw someone posted it. It was a commercial. And he was saying something. He was talking about black and Latino kids. And he said something like,
Oh,
black and kids, when they're at work, they don't act right. Something weird he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh.
yeah. Okay, we can get into that.
That was a bad move.
Yeah, it was. So when he was mayor, he instituted a program called Stop and Frisk, which was as bad as it sounded. A lot of abuse of young men of color, and so a lot of people were hurt by that. It was racist, it was fucked up. I think the clips that they're running are from a while ago. But the thing is, I talked to my friend Brenda Crawford, 71-year-old black lady, the coolest person around. She's from the East Coast. She has lots of friends from the East Coast. And she says that a lot of people she knows who were there while it was happening are, black people are willing to give the guy a pass on it because they think he can beat Trump. And so we're having this conversation. We're like, okay, well, the thing is, man, it's not like black people haven't needed to make a lot of like decisions between least bad. So that is the logic of of Bloomberg and whether he learned his lesson. Well, not only, even if somebody doesn't learn their lesson, the question is, can we get the political will and influence to put them in check?
Right.
And there is a lot more organization and than there was back then, a lot more awareness of those issues. It's, post Ferguson, a lot more consciousness of those issues, and people want to do something about Trump.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a weird year.
It's going to be a very weird year. See, I'm now liking Amy Klobuchar because, she's from she's from the Midwest. She's been several times. She's effective. She's done a good job. But I don't know what the country's going to think of her.
I think this is, because I see a lot of people's posts. I think a lot of
You think?
I'm seeing posts that are weird, man. I'm seeing people posting. It's starting to get to this point. I hear everybody saying everybody who's in the politics is evil. It doesn't matter. And it's kind of like, I kind of feel like this.
Like they're fine with Trump staying in office?
I think they think like that. They think that they're in their mind, they think, people who are into politics, presidents, people running for presidents, they're all the same. They're all the same. Maybe different in different ways of coming at it, but they're all the same. Me personally, I kind of believe like if you let them just vote whoever they want, that's what we're gonna have. And I think it's gonna get to that point. I think it's gonna get to that point. There's so much fake propaganda being put out.
Yeah.
And it's like you get some people, the ones who aren't really into politics, you know what I'm saying? They see different sides of it. The Trump people are making it seem like Trump hasn't done nothing wrong, even though we all know how Trump is. Then there's the one on the side that, you know what I'm saying, Trump is awful. But then there's the side that's like, well, no politician is good. And then there's people falling into that now. That's starting to be the new thing now.
And the economy's good.
Yeah, it went down a little bit from what I was seeing. From what I'm seeing.
Really?
So that's what I'm saying.
From what you're seeing, or from what you're seeing, like reading, like statistically.
Reading statistically.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing is, it's not. You know what I'm saying. When it was with Obama, they said it was a little bit better. Now it's like the debt is getting worse.
Oh, the debt, yeah.
So I mean, to me, when it comes to situations, I just don't know, man. I think it's gonna trickle. I think there's gonna be more to it. We just don't see it yet. But once he's out, whoever comes in as president is gonna see it.
Well, the debt is bad because of Trump's tax cuts, but that's not what most people think about. I mean, it's hard for me to even think about. I mean, I know it's bad, but logically, it's hard to be that conscious of it.
That's what you're seeing.
Most people don't care about that, though. People care about People care about whether they have jobs.
Yeah, that's true. They care about that too. But when people see that we're going more and more in debt, it kind of.
But most people don't care about that.
You'd be surprised. I see it all the time. I don't really see people posting about the jobs. They post about the debt, though.
Seriously?
I kid you not.
Wow.
I'm gonna start sending you these things on Messenger. You're gonna be like, what? Like, yes, I don't really see too much on the jobs, but on
because
the debt
it's
part,
very bad. But most people care about what's in front of their faces, and the debt is abstract. Like, yeah, Obama got it way down, but then the tax cuts ballooned it back up. See, it's weird to me because you just think like, well, the government's in debt. I mean, what's gonna happen? It's not like, but no, it's bad. It is bad. But it's not only that people know, Trump supporters know the stuff he does. They just don't think it's that bad.
They just don't think it's that bad.
Exactly.
They voted for him.
Well,
that's
yeah.
kind of like another issue. Well, we voted for him. I mean, we got to ride with him now, no matter what he does.
Well, yeah,
that's what it kind of comes down to. Come on, man. I've even still see people saying, I guess when they're still arguing about Trump, I still see Trump supporters saying they'll even still till this day bring up Obama doesn't even have a birth certificate.
Really?
Oh, dude, I see some crazy stuff from Trump supporters that I sit here and be like, really, dude? And so when I see that kind of lets me know the only reason why Trump is because, or even if Trump. Like I tell people, if Trump went outside right now, shot up everything.
That's what Trump said, Roselle.
Well, maybe he said it too.
He said it too. Yeah.
Well,
he said he could shoot a gun down Fifth Avenue and people didn't mind.
They wouldn't mind. He knows. He knows.
Yeah.
And that's how stupid they are. I hate to say it. That's how they are. They just. Some of them still. Barack Obama does that person. I'm like, oh Lord, dude.
Well, I fault the Democratic Party for not getting out into the mix and trying to combat that. The problem is when people get a really superior attitude, and that's what got us Trump. Right. I mean, the elite, elites or whatever, I mean, I know plenty of people like that, I have relatives like that, they live in their little bubble. They think everyone else is dumb, and what the hell? Those other people decided the election. And see my big thing is that they're dumb liberals, basically, and there are.
No, I'm not arguing with you.
Okay.
I think there's dumb on both sides.
Exactly.
I think the reason why the Democrats left that alone, I think that's like beyond dumb. That's my personal opinion. Anybody who's gonna argue, he made it all the way from being a lawyer. He never had a birth. Dude, that's like, to me, that's stupid. That's like, that's like me arguing with a 3-year-old, telling me a tiger's a bear.
But they're 3-year-olds that vote, and basically,
you're right. There are. I see that now.
You know,
I've
we
learned
want to
that.
win the fucking election. We need to go talk to them.
And I agree, but you know what I'm saying, that would be a shocker as a person. When I see it and when I look and see it, that's a shock. I can understand. Sometimes I'll be like, dude, I wouldn't even want to talk to that person if they really think and believe something like that. I don't even know what to say, dude. I don't even know what to tell you. If they believe it, they're not going to listen to you anyway. That's my opinion.
I guess so, but then how are we going to get the son of the bitch out of the White House? We got to try it.
You can try, but there's some stubborn people. I'm telling you, I think it's a pride issue. Some of them voted for him, so they got to stick with him. That's my opinion.
Well, the big thing is that's said by many people is that liberals eat their own, and conservatives know how to hang together. That's the thing. I mean, that's what happened in 2016 with all the Trump was building his base, and Berndog and Hillary, was scrapping, we're scrapping it out, and Berndog was feeding into, his rhetoric was being used by Trump people, and still we have these people 5 of them duking it out, and
I'd rather have two of my friends fair and duking it out, honorably duking it out, than go follow someone that's stupid. That's my opinion. I would rather do that. I'm not going to follow someone that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's just me. If I was let's just say I was voting for Bernie, and Bernie busts out and says such and such doesn't have a birth certificate. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even buy Berndog. I can't even talk about you no more.
Yeah, but
because that's stupid to me. That's dumb. I'd rather fight it out. I don't care if you argue.
If Berndog's the nominee, even I'll vote for him, man.
But that's just
I like Bloomberg better than Berndog. See.
We'll see, man. Today, this is a different. No, this is different this year. Everybody, it could just be any. It's just so much weirdness and twists and turns this time that it's just kind of like
my dad is looking at Bloomberg, and so I I don't know, man. Hey, my dad is one of the smartest people I know. So.
The only thing I'm seeing about Bernie that I like, and to me, has been sticking with he's been pushing his same agenda for years.
Well, yeah, that's what that's what people like about him. That's what my dad likes
and
about
to me,
him.
that's a good thing, because whether he does it or not, if he did become president, he's been sticking with something for a long time, and I kind of respect that with people.
But he hasn't done anything. He hasn't been able to do anything.
Well, that's why we'd have to vote him in and give him a chance to try to do it. I don't know if he would do it or not, and like I said, that's how politics. You never know. But I still think I would go for these people over Trump.
Well,
so
yeah.
That's
same
my
here.
opinion. So
same here. I'm Lawrence. It's Lawrence Shine. All right.
Hey, what's going on, Lawrence? How you doing, man? Oops, you can't see me yet. What's up, Lawrence? How you doing, my man?
Yep. So, but anyway, see, it's crazy. It just proves how crazy it all is that everybody thought Biden was the front runner, and he came in 4th place in Iowa. I mean, he got his ass kicked, basically.
Yeah. Well.
So, it's sad because he could have retired. I mean, that was the whole reason that he shouldn't have gotten in. If he hadn't have gotten in, he would have been a beloved elder statesman. He would have just stayed on being Uncle Joe. Everybody loved him. But, he got in. It doesn't look like he's going to win. I mean, and so that's going to be rough.
It's going to be rough, but he tried, man. He's trying. So, I mean, you can't hurt people for trying, dude. I mean,
oh no. I mean, I
think a lot of these people are really trying to push to try.
Well, of course they are. I mean, why else would they be doing it?
Of course, what else?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, dude, That dude gotta go, man. We gotta get someone else in there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't care what all the Trump supporters say. I see it all the time on Facebook.
I swear to God, it's starting to look like Bloomberg.
Well, I can do it. I'd rather Bloomberg than,
I mean,
than Trump. At least
8 years of being governor, of being mayor of New York City, I mean, that's no joke. That's a real job. That's not a joke like Mayor Pete. Oh, man.
True.
Mayor Pete, oh God, heating up. See, it's heating up over in Gayland, as Lawrence knows. Okay, because this is what's going on. I mean, somebody will post in the gay group or whatever, in one of our gay groups about Pete. Somebody will post something critical because we talked about before, he doesn't have any black people supporting him, and so then somebody else says like, well, how can you knock down somebody from our community? And then it all goes to hell, because then there's a bunch of other people that are like, whoa, he's not our community, just because he's gay there's a lot of other things. So it's been ugly, man. It has been real ugly. So yeah. So I don't know, man. Well, that's the United States for now.
What's up with the coronavirus? Man, you hear about Napa?
Yeah, there's some in Napa.
Yeah, they released some of the people from Travis Air Force Base.
That were in Travis.
And they said 7 people have the symptoms, but 1 person actually had it, or that they diagnosed with coronavirus.
Okay. But I mean, how thank you, Lawrence. How deadly is it?
That I don't know.
That's what I can't that's what I can't figure out. It hasn't, not a whole lot of people have died from it that I can tell. But I don't know, man. I mean, look at how many people died of Ebola, and one of the things that's happening now that's a terrible health problem in Sudan and the other countries in that area. Okay, Mike Pompeo announced that the U.S. will provide $8 million to East African countries. So that would Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia, because there's an infestation of locusts. Is that crazy? Is that like biblical?
Yeah, that's definitely biblical.
It's biblical. Bible. Yeah. So, okay. So the U.S. is doing something. So okay. So a lot has been going on in Sudan. The elections are supposed to be held in 2022, but they still have a lot of problems with militia groups, and they're hanging on to the gold mines. I mean, that's the problem. There's like there's small groups that can just grab so many resources that they just have a lot of power. But aid has gotten into the rebel-held Sudan. The transitional government allowed it, so they're doing a little better than Oh, Uganda's in the path of the locusts. Oh man, yeah. Lawrence has been to Uganda.
Wait a minute, don't they already have locusts down there? Haven't they had that before? Isn't there an area down there that's had locusts like that before?
I don't know.
I've seen that before. I don't know if it's Uganda.
Yeah.
But I've heard of areas around. I'm not sure if it's Africa or not, so I can't even say. But I've seen areas that get locusts certain times of the year.
Well, we follow Uganda. We follow Bobby Wine, the ghetto president, our rapper businessman that's running for president, and we seriously pray for him. He's a good guy, and he's already faced a lot of abuse. We really want him to stay alive. Yes, they've had locusts in Uganda before. Oh, damn, Lawrence. Okay, next show you need to come on. We'll fix that up now.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Yeah, so Bobby Wine is still campaigning, and there's other musicians. There's Tashila, the rapper that I
Mm.
connected with, who is in the United States. She's also gay, and she's not going back to Uganda. And then there's Lawrence's dear friend and sister, who we also think about her a lot. And yeah, so we talked about this last time about how Yoweri Museveni has been in power for 40 years. And I mean, Uganda's another place where like 2/3 of the country are under 40 or some crazy number like that. So, hopefully some of these people can just get out of power and people will be able to take over. And okay, so back to Sudan, the rulers have agreed to hand over their ex president, Omar al Bashir, to the International Criminal Court to face genocide and war crimes charges. Okay, and that is a really big deal. And I used to be all for the International Criminal Court, but I less so now because most of them are European and they seem to be mostly putting Africans on trial. So I think people like Omar al Bashir should be tried in his own country and by his own people and the people that were affected by what he did. I think one of the reasons the country's turned people over is just because of the expense, because they don't have the infrastructure to hold those sort of trials, because the war crimes trials are just huge and complicated, and they have people that were affected come and testify, but they don't have to be that complicated. So I don't know. I am getting more and more skeptical about the ICC. I think that Omar al Bashir should be tried in Sudan, but hopefully, I mean, the government's handing him over, and so hopefully the people of Sudan will get some relief. But okay, Sudan has agreed to compensate the families of 17 U.S. sailors who died when their ship, the USS Cole, was bombed by Al Qaeda at a port in Yemen in 2000. Okay, listen to this. Okay, Al Qaeda isn't even a Sudanese organization, and the ship was bombed in Yemen. I mean, why the fuck does Sudan need to pay for it? They can't. I mean, that's an impoverished country. But this is a key condition set by the U.S. for Sudan to be removed from its list of sponsors of terrorism. Osama bin Laden stayed there for a while. Well, like, what were they supposed to do about that? Fuck that. But okay, so they're compensating the families of U.S. sailors. I mean, the military should be taking care of. See, that doesn't make sense to me because the U.S. military should be taking care of the families of of sailors that were killed. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. How are you supposed to go track down everybody that had any sort of aggression toward the United States and make them pay the soldiers? But they're doing it because they want to end isolation, and they are also looking at. Well, this is kind of okay. Well, since this is how crazy this all is. Sudan is compensating the families of the USS Cole, but then maybe that's why the U.S. is providing money to help them with the locusts. And Israeli commercial planes are flying over Sudan after a meeting with its last month, Netanyahu said. Basically, Bibi Netanyahu will be friends with anybody who will be friends with him, including the including the anti-Semitic leader of Hello, Reverend Dion, the anti-Semitic leader of... That was an incredible sermon on Sunday. The leader of Hungary, who is anti-Semitic, racist, homophobic, just about everything. So, okay, man, Roselle, talk about... Okay, here's more about weird reasons that people like or dislike Trump. The United States will stop issuing visas that offer a path to residency to nationals from Eritrea, Kyrgyzstan, Nigeria, Sudan, Myanmar, and Tanzania. And okay, so, and then the Boko Haram, which is the militant Islamic group in Nigeria, have killed at least 30 people and abducted women and children, and most of them were travelers that were burnt to death while sleeping in their vehicles. Boko Haram has killed 35,000 people since 2009. But okay, here you go. I was reading an article by a Nigerian writer who just said that a lot of people in her country like Trump anyway. They like that he talks tough or whatever. I know, even though he's imposing visas, even though he's not issuing visas to people from Nigeria, they want their government to just like step in line. So
they like that he talks tough?
Basically, yeah. Yeah,
You know
they like that he talks tough and...
That's like saying
insults.
I like WWE wrestling, or I like WWF wrestling because Hulk Hogan used to talk tough.
I know, huh?
So he should be president. He used to talk tough, too.
Seriously.
Yeah. That just sounds like a little kid the way you said it.
I know, huh?
That's what I'm saying. This stuff just doesn't even make sense. I like it because he talks tough. There's a
know.
lot of tough talking people in prison.
Yeah, there is. There is, but...
But I guess we got a lot of presidents in prison.
Yeah, well, not with... Shit, he just released, like... He just commuted the sentences of, like, 7 white-collar criminals.
That was messed up, too.
That was
crazy.
So fucked up, man. Well, I think he's doing it to say... The former governor of Illinois was in prison. I think he did it. He did that just to say, like, fuck you to the anybody.
You know what, the DeBartolo thing is that's shady, dude.
Okay, that was the guy that was like fixing.
Yeah.
What was he doing? He was like fixing sports or something.
Yes, he kind of did what Pete Rozelle I think did. Kind of like not
sports. Pete Rozelle. Okay, did he fixed games too?
Yeah, he did something with gambling where he kind of did the same thing in similar nature of fixing the game. He did the same thing.
Okay, well, while you look at...
And he's still, but see, it's 2 different sports. I will say that. One's football, one's baseball. But for him to let him go because, dude, it's just foul, dude. It's just...
Yeah, man. He just did it because he's like, okay, I'm still in president. I can do what the fuck I want.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, so in Tunisia... The hundreds of Tunisians attended the funeral of 36-year-old blogger and activist Lina Ben-Mani. She blogged the Arab Spring. Recently, she had been critical of the new Tunisian government, and the coffin was
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose?
No, I said the wrong name.
Okay.
Pete Rose.
You said Pete Rozelle.
Yeah, that's the czar for Pete Rose.
Yeah.
I meant Pete Rose.
Yeah. Okay, and the coffin was carried by women. She was young, it's sad, and she was an inspiration for a lot of women in Tunisia. So are sending condolences and our thoughts to them. Oh my God, this is crazy. A plan by an Israeli group to hold a Burning Man style event in the deserts of the occupied territories. That's crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, the Burning Man is like, have it anywhere else, people. I mean, that is not what Burning Man is about.
You ever done Burning Man?
No.
You know Age did Burning Man, I think.
That's an age sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would never do that, but Age did.
It's an age thing.
Okay, so you know it. Okay.
Oh, of course I do. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I couldn't do that for nothing in the world.
Yeah. Not my thing. So Reverend Dion is watching, and she preached a very cool sermon on Sunday about growing up. It was like, grow up. It was, very, very powerful. Okay, and so that's what's going on in Sudan. This, okay, so remember, so the problem with the Trump peace plan is not a plan. It's a deal that he cooked up with Bibi Netanyahu, and there weren't even, so it was not even a negotiation. It was one-sided, will you take this? People said no, and there you have it. Okay, and the United States civil rights groups have announced on Monday that they filed a lawsuit against a public university in the U.S. state of Georgia. The state of Georgia asks people to sign a pledge to not boycott the Israeli government. And a journalist was supposed to go speak at a university, and it was canceled because she refused to sign a pledge to not boycott the Israeli government. I mean, sue them. Jesus, the speech wasn't even about Israel. I mean, it's just a really frightening suppression of free speech. Oh, okay. See, Reverend Dion is making me think about this stuff. Listen to this. This is a question that was asked. There was a comment to, don't trust preachers that tell you how to vote and politicians that tell you to pray. Mm. So I was like, that's deep. So I put in some, I put down some thoughts about that. I just think that, like, prayer and those are things that people feel very strongly about, and we need to find, what I said is we need to find ways, it's not okay for a pastor to tell people that they're going to hell if they don't vote for so-and-so, but, pastors express their opinions and their passions, and so, and politicians tell people to pray all the time, and some of them need it.
Yeah.
So, it's an interest. It's
very interesting.
Yes, it is. It is. Those are some of the most. Those are two very interesting issues and issues that people are passionate about. So to me, it's almost hard not to tell anybody not, like, okay, the workplace. Okay, you should keep that shit out of the workplace because people need to do their jobs and not be bothered. But
that happened in my last job. 2 people got into it.
What happened?
The supervisor got into it. We hired a new guy to work with us, and the supervisor brought up Trump and Obama at the time. I think Obama was president at the time.
Oh, man, the supervisor brought it up?
Yes.
Oh, that's really bad.
And something happened where they got into it. None of us was with him. He was training the new guy. Mm-hmm. The new guy said he threw the clipboard at him. Supervisor. Oh, dude, yeah. And they got into it over Obama and Trump, and I think the guy got the supervisor mad, and some stuff happened.
So did anybody get suspended, or?
The guy quit, and I heard they took him to court, and some people got interviewed about the supervisor saying,
Did he quit or was he fired?
The guy himself, not the supervisor stayed for a few more years.
Really? He wasn't. Did he get written up?
No, I don't know if he got written up. They wouldn't tell me.
Of course.
So I don't know, but I know the guy quit. The new hire guy quit, and from what I know, they questioned some people to find out if the supervisor was racist, or asked him if he done anything racist or weird before to anybody.
Right.
But what I heard is the new guy got some kind of settlement out of it.
Well, you'd think.
I don't know. I never got to see the dude since then, so I don't know what had happened. Well, yeah. I know the supervisor stayed for a long time after that, but then he quit. But it wasn't because of that. He just quit because he quit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he got, like, reprimanded. Or...
I'm sure he did a little bit, but,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean that's serious. You should not, and I mean, especially in the sort of situation like prisons are. I mean, oh, okay,
Yeah, this was just
that's.
when I worked
I
somewhere
mean,
else.
prisons are people gotta hang together when they work in prisons. You gotta have you know
Yeah, but
staff.
it
people.
happens at jobs when people
Oh, I know.
bring that into the situation.
Yeah.
And it comes into that, and hey. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. This is a weird year. This is different. I mean, politics is starting to really bring people out, their true natures out. So.
Yeah, and we gotta try and hang together, and we gotta try and reach people, and not, we gotta try and like not ruin our own relationships with people, because this stuff's gonna move on. I mean, and it's not gonna. Trump doesn't care if we alienate our friends and families. I mean,
Exactly.
so.
But there's people that, like I said, there's people that are really into the whole. There's some people that really don't even know. Like, they don't know much about anything with politics, but they just know they like Trump for whatever reason. Because I think a lot of them just didn't like Obama. So it's like, we just like Trump because you guys like the Obama type thing. And so there's no real gauge behind anything besides, well, he's the president. You just have to deal with the type thing. And it's just, you can just tell the difference. It's not really like with you. When people talk to you, you have explanations. Like, if I talk to you, you say you like somebody, you can say, "Well, I like this person because they were the mayor." You have more to it. There's some people you talk to. Why do you like Trump? Well,
people say
he talks tough.
Well, yeah, that is why people like him.
And
so
that's
I think that's one of the
corny.
reasons why people think Bloomberg, maybe because like Bloomberg's a New Yorker too. People think that he can that he'll be good against Trump. That's one of the reasons that people are going for him.
I mean, see, that's where I think people go wrong. Is you're going by what a person can say, not much of how they can deal with people. More of them being tough. Anybody can go around and be tough, but when you're having to deal with all these different countries and stuff, sometimes just being plain out tough to me just isn't the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, when you're tough with them, they get tough back.
Yeah.
And to me, you can't deal like that with tough people with tough people.
You know what hawks are?
No, a bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he does, huh, Lawrence? Yeah. Well, hawk means strong. It means people that believe in peace, like but a strong defense. So basically, it's people that are like trying to stay out of war, but want us to have lots of weapons. So it is basically. See, I'm kind of a hawk, or in some respects. I mean, I believe in tough. I believe in being tough. I really do. And being tough, being strong, but like. Yeah, like negotiating and,
Exactly.
It's called peace through strength.
Right.
Hillary was a hawk.
Now you see what I'm saying. That's kind of what I'm saying. You could be...
You're a hawk too, Rizzo. Now you know.
You could be like that, but you got to kind of... You can be tough, but you can't just be a bully, so to speak.
Yeah.
Being a bully gets you caught up because you've never seen too many bullies that all that they do don't come... Eventually all of it comes back to them in one way or another, so...
I'm still waiting to see if that'll happen with Trump.
I think if he got another year, it would. I think if he goes, it'll be better. But if he has one more year, I think we're gonna see some stuff go down.
Well, he's so unhealthy looking,
And that's another point. You know what kind of person he is to me? I believe, like you just said, him being unhealthy. Just the point that he's unhealthy, he would do a lot of crazy stuff just for the fact that he's unhealthy, and he wants the rest of us to feel it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like him. For those kind of reasons. It's what he wants to do, not really for everybody else. It's him.
Oh yeah, I think he's empty. I think he's sociopathic.
Like if he knew tomorrow he was gonna die of cancer or something, he would probably just start a nuclear war. Well, I'm gonna die anyway. Bloop.
Yeah.
That's what kind of how I get from him. What I get from him.
Yeah.
That's not really to me being tough. That's just kind of like, cop out. Like, well, I'm gonna die anyway, so everybody else can just come along with me. So,
yeah. Yeah, but I don't know, man. And I like Klobuchar because she just seems like she's just one of these ladies. She just seems like she can like deal with anything.
Yeah.
So I think she could keep her cool with Trump. Buttigieg is just gonna. I don't know, man. I think
how is she doing so far?
Well,
in this race, I mean, how
she's doing better than basically she's doing well because she's still in the race and because she came in because she did better than people were expecting. That's why she's doing well because she did better than people were expecting.
Now, do you honestly see her winning?
No.
Okay. Just had to ask.
I mean, see, I think I'll vote for her if she's still in the running in March. But because we have Nevada. There's Nevada and Burn Dog's doing well in Nevada. Bunch of assholes there. And then, so, I don't know, man. It's just crazy. So, I was, so you know how we were talking about Ray Charles?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I
love Ray Charles.
I know. Well, I read his autobiography. It's called, it's called Brother Ray. So yeah, I was interested in his school, because God, there's that scene in the movie where he goes off to school. Like, what was it? His school experience. So he said one of the things they did when they got there was that it was a segregated school, but he's saying like it didn't. He's saying like I don't know why they bothered. The kids were all blind.
Right.
But
it makes sense.
Yeah.
But you know how.
Well, yeah, in that era, yeah.
You don't want your kid next to those kids. You just don't want them, even if they are blind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, he said he used to, when he was a kid, he'd drive all over the place. He'd drive and he just knew where he was.
When he was blind.
Yes, he'd ride a motorcycle around, and so
I can't believe that.
Well,
I'd have to see him do that.
Well, that would be hard. No, and it's not just him saying that in autobiography. I've heard it from other people too.
He was riding around blind.
Yeah, small town. Knew where he was. And the story was like somebody reported him because he went to a state's, the tuition, or it was the school for the blind was a state school, so somebody reported him saying like he's not really blind, but he was.
And he was riding around
on a motorcycle. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder how he did that.
Small town. He knew the town. I guess he just knew people would get out of his way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what if they did road work that day or something was going on the road? Woo.
Well.
Oh well.
He was just. Yeah, it was pretty remarkable. And then he'd drive with somebody else sitting in the passenger seat, like directing him to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that might make a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, make it a little easier, but.
I know he didn't do it by himself.
Yeah, I think he did the motorcycle by himself, but when he drove, he'd have somebody in the car.
That's trippy.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm surprised they didn't put that in the movie. They should have put that in the movie.
They probably thought nobody would believe it.
I still don't believe it. That's why they should have put it in the movie. Because I'd like to see that.
And he wasn't even just like,
And why would he have someone riding with him? Why not just have the person that can see drive?
Because he was gonna do what he was gonna do. I mean, that's how. Like that was. I mean, that part of the movie was true. I mean, his mother had just said to him, you are not gonna be helpless.
Yeah, his mom from the movie made sure that he said, no, I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah, and he couldn't even. His eyes were removed. Like when he was 7, his eye was removed, and then when he was 13, they removed the other one. So he was totally blind.
So they took his eyes out?
Yeah.
I thought they were just still there.
They took him out.
So what was it that really messed up his eyes?
Well, he was blind before then.
Yeah.
I mean, he was already blind when he had the eyes taken out, but they were hurting him.
No, I'm saying, but what initially?
He said it was possibly glaucoma.
Okay, because I remember on the movie, he just got blind. It never really.
It was and that is how it happened. It was gradual.
Okay.
Over a year or two.
Because I remember his brother died.
Yeah.
And it kind of happened right after that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, and they compacted it more because of the movie.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So, that was part of why he knew his way around, because he was going blind. He knew he was going blind, so he learned.
He kind of just naturally learns.
Yeah.
The layout.
Yeah.
Plus, back then it ain't like now where you have stuff all over the place.
Well, yeah.
So it's probably mostly flat land.
Yeah.
Wasn't probably too much in your way.
Yeah, and he learned to play the piano from a guy in his neighborhood that would play piano. But I mean, and then when he was in school, he just learned everything. So I mean, classical, all sorts of instruments. He learned blues. He learned braille music. Yeah. That's
crazy. Just knowing that taken out though.
Yeah.
I thought they were still there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so no light at all, nothing. And then he never wanted a cane or a dog, because he felt like those were impediments.
Right.
That those made him a cripple. So,
that's how old school people were, though, man. They just
yeah.
So you cut off all their arms and legs, and they still would figure it out back then.
I know, man. People were tough.
They were tough back then.
Yeah, they really were. Because I do a lot of reading. As you know, like when I read about like how rough traveling was for people back then.
My mom used to tell me that too. When they had to walk like 10 miles to go to school.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Really? Where is she from?
Florida.
Okay.
In the snow. They had to do some weird.
It snows in Florida?
It snowed when she went.
Really?
Yes.
I never heard of snow in Florida.
Ask my mom. It's
Jackson, Florida. Well, I've heard of
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville? Oh my God! Yeah,
yes.
I've heard of Jacksonville.
Yes.
Wow.
And they used to have to walk.
She did 10 miles to school.
That's what they said.
Oh, come on, man. Maybe 2 miles. Come on.
She said 10 miles.
Wow.
Then they got bikes, and it got a little easier with the bikes, but
yeah,
that's what she said. Dang.
Yeah. Wow. When did she leave Jacksonville?
I don't know. I'd have to ask her that.
Yeah.
I know it had to be in her 20s. So.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't know. She told me about 10 miles, so I don't argue it. But...
Well, of course not. No, I mean,
maybe it felt like 10 miles, but I know it was probably more than what I would have. My school was like literally like maybe a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's getting worse every, the generations it's getting.
A lot of kids can't even walk a
mile. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like with me, it was like a mile or two to get to school because I lived in Hilltop and you had to go to Sleeves, and it was about 2 miles.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So I tagged you on Facebook because remember you were talking about how the mayor of Richmond stopped and played basketball with you and his friends.
I saw that
tag.
Did you see
that? Wasn't that
that
sweet?
Was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Much love. Let me give her a pound.
Yeah. that was okay. So, yeah. So people remember that the mayor of Richmond in the '80s stopped to play basketball with little Roselle and his friends, and he always, I know, man, he always remembered that. So yes, that was very cool. I was at an event last week. They opened a center in Vallejo called First 5, which is for children from 0 to 5 with all these activities, and it's right. Oh, okay, it's right in the same area as Planet Fitness. In that same little, the one on Sonoma. Yeah, it's in that little
mall. Strip area or whatever.
Mall. Yeah. And I said, well, wow, maybe parents can leave their kids there and go work out, but it's not like a daycare. Parents are there with their kids.
Right.
But it has all this cool developmental stuff, and then it has a section, a lot of resources for parents. So the idea that it's not just by having a place that's not just where parents drop their kids off, parents can access resources for themselves and have some support. Because I mean, that's a big problem for people, especially if they don't have relatives around or anybody for like support and guidance and yeah. So I was there last week and I was taking all the different I went to the opening and all the different community leaders were reading to the kids. Oh man. Okay, so I think that was Thursday, and then last week there was a supervisors forum at Friendship Church down on Florida. And Katie, it's my sissy. Hey you. So I was going to the forum, and one of the Flanagan was coming in, and I said hello to her, and I just kept walking, and she was behind me. I figured she was probably like, getting ready for the forum or something. Then I heard her say, "Are you okay?" And I turned around, so there were these two girls like yelling, and one of them was like, it was just this. One of them was like bent over, and she looked like she was like hysterical, maybe throwing up or something, and I couldn't figure out if they were injured or if it was just a teenage drama. So, I mean, I had my phone out and I'm thinking like, well, I'm not going to call the cops on, any teenagers having drama, but what if she's and I'm just standing
Doesn't
there.
that suck how that is now?
Yes.
It's so bad now. It's like you used to a long time ago, people you would know, but now it's like you don't know anymore.
I couldn't tell.
And then once you put yourself into that situation,
yeah.
it could all backfire on you.
Exactly.
You call the police and they want to laugh and giggle and act like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Because, I've seen
Well, I don't worry about it backfiring on me. I worry about it backfiring on them.
Yeah, it could also backfire on you if they
Well,
turned out to be, like you said, they were just doing some kind of weird teenage thing, and then you call the cops and they want to bounce real quick or something. Even though someone's throwing up, someone could,
Well,
but
with how things work with the cops in Vallejo, they've got a lot more the kids got a lot more to worry about than I do. So,
okay.
yeah. So, so I was saying, and then this young guy came up, and I was saying, do you want me to call the cops? And he said, yes, her mom just beat her up. So I was like, okay, cool. I got a yes from somebody. So I called the cops, and then Supervisor Hannigan also called the cops. And then the mother, I guess, drove up in her car, and she drove her car. First she drove toward me. It was like, I like screamed. I like jumped between these cars. I was scared. I was like, oh man, she's gonna like ram me. It's like, wow, that would really hurt. But then she drove off, and it was just, we could not figure out what was going on, and the girls were like staggering across the street to the church, and then there was this guy just standing there, this older man, and I thought that he was somebody from the church, and I was trying to talk to him. I said, like, I said something like, well, I called the cops. The kid told me to call the cops, and I was just wishing he would say something, but he was the former mayor of Vallejo.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just standing there watching and stuff. And
maybe he knows the kids. Does he know?
No.
Oh.
No, he was just keeping an eye out. I think he was. He's like. I think he kind of felt like he didn't want to bother with anyone. No, he was just watching. But I guess he figured. Supervisor Hannigan was doing a better job on the phone than I was. So I was like, okay.
So what was wrong with him?
Her mom had beat her up.
Oh.
The mom was like lunging. That was driving toward us. So the girls were like staggering into the church, and I said, well, I'll stand out here for when the ambulance or whatever comes. We could hear the sirens. And then the young guy came up, and then he was like just standing there in front of the church, and I said, are you okay? And he said, oh, I'm fine. I'm just pulling up my pants before I enter the house of the Lord. So I was like, that, but
wow.
It was. So
why did you guys ever find out why the mom beat her up?
No, the girls went into the back of the church or went into one of the rooms and somebody was looking after them, and I just went into the forum. But I said something about it later, like, okay, our super was like right in, was like right there, because I hadn't even. I like when I heard her say, "Are you okay?" before I noticed something wrong. So it was like, okay, she's looking out for everybody. She's keeping an eye out in the neighborhood. That's cool. Yeah, but that was, I hate that feeling, because I was like, okay, well, what if she's bleeding? What if this person's really, really sick or injured, and I'm like thinking about this too much? So, yep, never a dull moment in Vallejo.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for you, Anna.
Okay.
Me and Lawrence have been going on this all day, on and off. You know who Lawrence is, right?
Yeah, Spider.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. Me and him, Osai posted something about jobs and people getting, raising the, what is it? What do they call it? Raising your pay. What do you call it? Your...
A raise.
No, not a raise. What do you call it when they raise your pay and it's the government does it? There's a name for it. Now I just forgot the name. I've been arguing with them all day, but now I can't remember the name. When they give you a certain amount where you get paid like $8 an hour, it's what do they call it?
The minimum wage?
Minimum wage.
Yeah.
So me and him got into it about raising the minimum wage, the whole McDonald's thing. Me and him got into it. I said, I think if they raised it to $15, I said it wouldn't bother me. I said it would be good. It would be a good thing. I said, if it helps people, if they could live off of that,
yeah,
why would it be a problem? He didn't like it. What? I was shocked at that. He kind of, his explanation was that if they did a raise like at McDonald's and fast food places, that people would not want to leave. And I said, why wouldn't people want to leave?
So where are they supposed to...
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people say that. Their mind state they think that everybody, just because they're making $15 at a fast food place, that they're going to stay there for the rest of their lives. But I tell them most people aren't going to stay. There might be people who stay.
And besides, that means that there'll just be more people getting jobs.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to understand, why people don't like that. It's what is the deal? What do you think the deal is? Why people go against that? Like it's a problem.
I have no idea. I mean, the point of a minimum wage should be that there's a employers would pay you $2 an hour if they could get away with it.
Right.
And yeah, the workers need some protection, and you want there to be that's supposed to be the role of government, to try and protect people and to uphold some standards.
I just don't understand why people think that making $15 an hour, or even if it was $20, that like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna stay. I'm a millionaire. Like, they treat it like, because they make that much working at McDonald's, like they're not gonna want to leave working at McDonald's.
Well, so what if they don't? Yeah, it's true. At one time, Lawrence is
He's
jamming.
on it. Good.
Lawrence is on it. No, it's not Spider Lawrence.
Oh, it's another
Lawrence. I know. I keep thinking we're talking about a Lawrence on the other one.
I hope you're watching Lawrence Spider.
No, he's not.
I was going to bring it up.
He's not watching on mine.
We'll see.
Okay.
He's probably watching on that one.
On that one?
Or he will in a minute once he hears this.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what he's...
Well, yeah, so what if they stay? Where the if they stay or not, who cares? Somebody else will get the job.
That's what I'm trying to understand, why the people who trip off of that, why they trip so hard. Like it's like we're giving them $1 million, saying here's $1 million, you're going to live the rest of your life in luxury because you're working at McDonald's for $15 an hour. It's just weird.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is that I really believe is that you can always find a way that poverty is expensive, and that poverty my justification for a lot of things is that poverty costs society more than lack of poverty. So if people are making $8 an hour. That's not enough. That's not enough to live on. So they lose. So they lose their homes, and so I mean, homelessness costs society. It's not just the. It's not just the humane and moral thing to shelter people. It is also economic.
And see, you kind of, in so many words, said the same thing Osai said. Osai was the one that posted it, and then Lawrence jumped in and Osai said what you're kind of saying.
Yeah.
Is having people homeless, you know, that's still coming out of people's pocket. You're still, it's still getting paid. Why not give them a job where they can almost kind of pay for themselves?
If somebody has a job and a home, that means they're buying things, they're contributing to the economy. And if somebody like becomes homeless and their kids get taken away and put into shelters, or like, okay, that is expensive by cost, and that is expensive in other ways that disrupt children's lives, and children with disrupted lives become disruptive in society, and that costs us too. So, you know, I mean, there's always a way to justify that, and that, I mean, if like I worked at a county hospital, and people were. I mean, a lot of the people coming in were homeless, and because they had no health insurance. It costs their medical care cost a fortune, crazy expensive. Whereas if they were housed and had preventive care, it would all cost a lot less.
Right.
I volunteer at Faith Food Friday, and there's now a shower van that's going to be there twice a month so people can take showers. And, you know, not being able to take showers is bad for people's health. So if you do some things like that, and, you know, people are going to feel better.
Right.
And, you know, be less likely to catch diseases, and they're just feel a lot better. So you can do some stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous, and and there's other ways that people contribute to society and and when people are stable, that means they can do other things too.
Exactly.
You know, make music and volunteer.
I was explaining that to him. When, like you said, people are doing their own thing, they're able to make their own money, they tend to want to do more, it's less stress on them, they feel better about themselves, and they do more.
Yeah, they can like do neighborhood cleanups and stuff, and stuff like that. So I'm really surprised at Spider. It's weird.
It was weird arguing
with him.
That doesn't
sound like him, man.
Oh, dude, you
I don't know him that well.
When you ever go to on those sides, just go on the, you'll see it.
Okay.
Me and him are going back. He texted me about it now.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, you're not going to win this one, because I said, his idea that if they get paid this much, they're going to want to stay there the rest of their lives.
But see, that's still like what I don't understand, because I'm like, well,
and there's a lot of people that think like that. That's what I don't get.
So what? What's wrong with that?
I mean, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, even if they did, if they're staying somewhere where they can make money, they got their own stuff. Why? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I don't.
And so
ever
if they
get
don't, that's ridiculous.
You'd have to have him. His explanation of it is just funny. He thinks that he tried to say it's like you being in school and being happy instead of trying to get an A or a B. Like you're gonna not try, because as long as you're doing.
So if you make it,
But I told him most people aren't like that. Most people, I said there might be some that stay, and who cares if they stay?
Because somebody has to do those jobs.
Yeah, but I said there's going to be people that leave. I think there's probably going to be more that leave than stay. But
yeah, particularly because if people are making a somewhat decent wage, they have a chance to go to school.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, particularly because if somebody's making like $8 an hour, say if people they can be working 2 or 3 jobs, whereas if somebody is working 1 job, they could also be going to school.
That's exactly, and I said that to him. I said, because he kind of gave me an example of his mom. I guess he said his mom worked at a McDonald's or something, and she wanted to be a registered nurse.
Yeah.
And I said, think about this. If she would have made more money,
she could have gone to school to be a registered nurse.
It would have probably made it quicker for her because she would have been okay because she would have had the money at McDonald's and she would have still had the time. I said she probably wouldn't have had to work as hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know, his mind really thinks that if you got paid more for working a fast food type job that you're going to stay there forever because of the fact that you're getting paid a lot of money.
That's not even the point. I mean that's why we have labor standards. It doesn't matter what job you're doing. I mean, people should be paid enough to eat and keep a roof over their heads.
And
whatever they're doing.
I agree, but his logic is really thinking that I guess everybody in the world is going to want to work at McDonald's now because it's $15 an hour, which is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's
like the most retarded thing ever. I'm like, really, dude? Come on, man.
$15. Yeah.
Even still, I mean, even if there was people that were making $15 in other jobs, most people aren't going to want to just flock to McDonald's because it's $15. That's like a job that most people leave. But if they can stay there and still live, eat, and be okay, why not?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? And it's like Lawrence said, other Lawrence Shine, not Lawrence Spider. I mean, people did Lawrence. Okay, Lawrence says there's something he's not telling you.
There must be, man.
Yeah.
Please tell Lawrence if you're on there right now. The other Lawrence, not Spider.
Other Lawrence.
The one that is talking to you right now. Please tell me what other part of the angle to this is because I don't get it. Making good money is good money. It works good for everybody all the way around, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, we have to have standards. You're going back to the. I'm reading a book called The Power Broker, and it's one I've sort of been a little intimidated by for a while because it's like 1,000 pages long. Okay, I've talked a lot about the Robert Caro books and about Lyndon Johnson, which are these massive books, and there's 4 massive books about Lyndon Johnson, and he's only gotten to like 1965. So. Yeah, 1964 maybe. So it's kind of legendary. He's been working on. It takes him like 10 years to write a book. His books. They're really, really long and complicated, and I mean they're great. A lot of what I talk about is from reading those books. But the first one he wrote was called The Power Broker, and it's about a guy named Robert Moses that was never elected to anything, but was extremely powerful and had a lot to do with the state creating New York City, building things, building and developing. And so I'm reading about him starting out, and this is still like pre-World War I even, and that is a time when work was happening to try and make places safer and try and do something about child labor and have so that's kind of where I'm at right now, because it says that supposedly he was kind of idealistic when he started out, but one of the stories about him is that he just would develop roads and stuff that would go through tenements and just throw people out of their homes, and he just didn't even give a shit. So it was like progress, build. But okay, see, there's some, how Vallejo has 8 freeway exits? Yeah, 8. We think about it, like there's all these 8, like there's that one by...
Yeah, you're right. When you get off the bridge, there's one right off the bridge. There's... Yeah, you're right. There probably is about 8 all the way down to Redwood Street.
Yeah.
And I guess you got to count Red Top because that's considered Vallejo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Well, there's a story. There was somebody from, and I forget the whole story, but somebody from Vallejo made a lot of money off of that.
Off of 8 exits?
Yeah, because builders.
How did they make money off of it?
Construction contracts.
Oh, to make the extra ones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, that's how people make money. Yeah.
Thought they needed them.
It's crazy, man. Especially because there's that one over on Magazine Street. It goes nowhere. It's so weird.
Are you talking about the one that winds around, goes over the overpass and goes into Magazine Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, I guess.
It is.
Unless you live there.
Well, yeah.
And then it's okay, but if you're right, it's kind of, I guess it wasn't really needed, but I guess if you live there, it's good for you. Yeah,
or it's good for whoever owns the companies that get those contracts.
Right. True.
Yeah, I mean that's how all that stuff works. So so with Robert Moses, it's going to be stuff like that. But I mean, apparently he started out he started out meaning well, but I guess he just became sort of crazed with development and all of that. So, okay, you want to take a break?
Sure.
Okay, Lawrence, Katie, James, Reverend Dion, thank you everybody very much. We are about to take a break and we will be back shortly.